I think everyone's in now, and it's a couple of minutes past. So welcome. Firstly, I will introduce myself. My name is Bill Cope. I've been involved with this conference since it began. I'm involved with Common Ground Research Networks. I'm a professor in the University of Illinois. You might be able to tell from my accent that I'm not originally an American. I came from Australia originally, but I work at the University of Illinois now. And Common Ground Research Networks is a not-for-profit that we have, which is based in the research park at the university. So welcome everybody, and great to see you. I work in education, but some of the work that I do is just a little bit of introduction about myself, is in the area of medical education. So working with medical students. So, and actually more specifically doing work about, sort of technology mediated environments that technology students use. And I have a number of medical people in my doctoral program. So that's my connection with the conference myself, but the main connection is really just hosting this session now. So great to see you all here today. Just a little bit of a background about the conference. It's a blended conference, so it's partly at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. And I've got the stats here. We have 76 people in person, including 14 Spanish, oh no, not including, on top of that, 14 Spanish speakers. So there's nearly 100 people there at the conference in person and about 50 online. So there's about 150 overall. And what we really encourage people to do is, whether they're in person or not, is if they'd like to present. Not everybody's a presenter, but everybody is encouraged to present. This is very much a researchers' conference, and we encourage them all to put in digital media, and there are over 100 pieces of digital media, so that's what we've got for the conference. And a little thing I'm going to say a couple of times actually is when you go into the 100 sessions, never leave without leaving a comment, because particularly that's particularly useful for the in-person people, so they know what the online people are thinking. It's obviously essential for the online presenters because it's the only form of interaction that they get. So please do make the most of all those sessions, and as I say, please leave comments. And again, the more substantial the better. People really appreciate feedback. So that's a little kind of an introduction to that. The other thing I want to mention again by way of introduction is we do have the journal as well. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end. So this is a knowledge community where we're interested in building a peer-reviewed body of knowledge that goes with this work. And if anything characterizes this conference, there are 1,001 conferences in the world that deal with medical matters. But this is specifically, well, one is that it's very international. A lot of others are as well. But particularly we're interested in cross-disciplinary approaches which cross between medicine and social science, and cross-disciplinary approaches to issues of health and wellness. So that's really what the focus is. I also want to welcome here Kayla, Ryan and Gillian Solomon, who are part of the Common Ground team. So it's a lot of work to get these together, and also there's a lot of work following that as we work through the publication process. So they've played a big part of this. So they might be people you've communicated with. So here you are, you get a chance to meet them. So what I'd like to do in this session, unfortunately, think and drink. Well, I don't know what time it is in Johannesburg at the moment. I've kind of lost track. This is my drink at this time of day. I'm in Illinois where it's 11 in the morning. This is kind of a virtual welcome reception. That's really what the idea is, which is in the nature of things meant to be pretty informal. So what I'm going to do is, oh, someone's from Illinois as well. Oh, you're in Illinois too, Mary. Okay, so I'm going to, if everyone doesn't mind, I'm going to go around the room and get people to introduce themselves. By the way, I think you will have noticed the notice at the beginning. This session is recorded, so a lot of people join these sessions asynchronously later on, and likewise, the synchronous plenary presentations are all recorded as well. So the people who are online are not missing out on any of that. So you're in Chicago. Oh, great, great. Well, you know, as the University of Illinois, where I am, is in Urbana-Champaign, which is depending on how you get here, 15 minutes on the plane, 2 hours if you drive. It's in central Illinois. So, yeah. Okay, which of course you'll know, Mary, but maybe some of the other people don't. So I'm going to go around the room and get people to introduce themselves. You know, just if you've got a microphone not working, or you're in a very noisy Starbucks or something or other, of course you can just put something in the chat. But if you would like to, if you're able to introduce yourself, I'd like to go around the room and get people to introduce themselves and really say where you're from, what you do, and what brings you to the conference. And if you've got a presentation, while you're mentioning that, I'll get Kayla or Jill to pull out a link to your session if you've got a session. So I'm going to just follow the tiles, if you don't mind. And the first tile I have here, and I'm going to get this pronunciation wrong, is Zulifka Aslam at UAE University. Hi, how are you?
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Zulfikar Aslam, and I'm in the Middle East. I'm in the middle of the desert. I work with the United Arab Emirates University. It's the flagship university of UAE. I'm a senior lecturer. I'm already into a Doctor of Business Administration program with Durham University, UK. I have been working with the university for the last 20 years. I'm a global inventor. I have a patent. I just got a patent for a new method which I developed almost 2 months back. And with the department I'm working right now, that is Innovation, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. And with the Research Scholars Network, I'm going to be presenting also, and the title has something to do with helium oxide based inhalers. And these are like technological inhalers, which I'm going to be talking about, how they can cope up with the COVID-19 pandemic and how they could have been coped up with the COVID-19 pandemic. That's it. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, and welcome, and great to have you here. And obviously this is a more than relevant topic given what we've been through the last few years. And I noticed that you're also, in terms of this technology work, it's thinking about how this fits in this universe called the Internet of Things, which is tremendously important to all of us. So welcome, and great to have you here giving this session. Look, I can see there have been 188 engagements already. And let me just say one thing, that's 188 people in the conference who've been to that page and hopefully looked at your work. One of the things we're trying to do, just by pleading with people, is get people to comment more. You know, 188 people have been there, but I bet there are not 188 comments there. So if people can just be sure you can say something when you go to each of these pages. But anyhow, that's a great sign that in a conference of 150 people, you've had 188 people turn up on the page. So that's a good sign. Okay, the next person I have in my Zoom tiles is Louise Darlingwater. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hello. I don't think we've met because I work a lot with the host, chief scientist here. I'm at Joburg. I'm actually the network chair. So I took over just last year. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to meet, but I hope soon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you, Louise. And we haven't met. That's why I didn't put two and two together. So my apologies.
But I've been working with Phil and also Tamsin here. Well, Phil's here at the conference, the in-person conference, so which is going to start tomorrow. But I just wanted to come and say hello to the online presenters and welcome also to the conference, and also have this opportunity to say that I hope that the conference online is as successful as we're hoping also the in-person conference will be. I'm actually at Sorbonne University, professor there. I work on health policy, healthcare policy. My topic of research is really health services in the UK, namely, but also with cross regional subjects. For example, at the moment, I'm working on migration health with colleagues in Sweden So it's a cross-country comparison of COVID-19 interventions for health interventions for migrants in 3 countries, Sweden, France, and the UK. I'm sorry that you can't be here with us, but I'm sure that the online conference will be as successful. And we will be presenting tomorrow, but I think it'd be too early for you. But please it will be recorded, so please listen to the recording, which you will be able to do later on today. And just listening to the first, you mentioned Sulfika, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, is that okay? I think your theme is perfect for this year's conference, but it's also perfect for next year's conference, which is a little bit getting ahead of myself, but it'll be in Vancouver. And it's on digitizing health and healthcare. So that would also be perfect for next year. So I hope you will also join us the following year in Vancouver, maybe in person. Sorry, I've spoken too long now, but yeah.
Luis, I might have some other title or topic ready for the next conference, and it might be better than the first one. Thank you.
Perfect. I'm sure they'll both be perfect. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for all the work you do as a host. And I'm pleased. You know, people are just coming out of this COVID anxiety period, so it's great that we have as many people as we do that have made it through to Johannesburg, which is a long way from a lot of places. So, it's great. Anyhow, thank you very much, Louise, and for all the work that you do. Okay, the next one I have going across the tiles is Michael Perini. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Michael Perini. I am from just outside of DC. I have a background in higher education. That's what my doctorate's in, but I kind of do everything. I've been to a few Common Ground conferences. Last one I think was in London in 2016. My work here with this particular conference, I was at Howard University at the Center for Infectious Disease Management and Research right when COVID broke out, and I was actually the program manager for the Novavax phase 3 trial at the university. So of the COVID vaccine. So I kind of was, my office was on the COVID wing of Howard University Hospital. So I was kind of like right with everything. And the presentation that I did was for this conference is STI stigma and screening, which is kind of what the purpose of SIDMAR is. It's more of a HIV clinic, but because of the COVID outbreak, it quickly shifted and all of the doctors ended up becoming more specialized within that community. And it was kind of an interesting couple of years. And then currently I shifted over to outside of higher education, actually. I'm at the Northern Virginia Family Service working on organizational assessment, which is something I really enjoy, and trying to figure out how things work and try to improve processes by simplification and clarification. So this is just my chance to dip my toes back into that academic professionalism that I enjoyed when I was primarily in higher education. So that's my background.
Great. And look, this is a really great example. Also, one of the other things we try to do is build bridges between academic work and working in the field. And if you can, in some ways, systematize what you do in terms of these conventional academic processes, which are good processes, the peer review process, the publication process, hopefully this is a way to bridge that for you personally, but also we try to do that professionally as well with the whole conference event. So welcome, Michael. And my next tile is Mary Lemmer. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's good to see everyone here. I am zooming in from Chicago, Illinois, so also around 11 a.m. As well. And I am facilitating a workshop presentation actually right after this opening orientation called Improving Wellness with Improv Comedy. And we'll talk about the research that supports using improv as a tool for well-being, and I'll share some of the research around that, and we'll also do some interactive activities to demonstrate some of the ways that improv can be helpful for improving creativity, resilience, connection, communication. My background is I started as an entrepreneur building my own businesses and experienced a lot of anxiety and kind of nervous system related health challenges, and found that improv was one of the few things that actually really helped me in my own healing journey. And then I started sharing these techniques with different individuals and teams across the world as ways to not only improve leadership skills, but also improve people's ability to cope with uncertainty and things outside of our control, which the past couple of years have really reminded everyone of how much we don't control. So it's a pretty unique and new way where there's more and more research coming out around how improv can improve brain health, nervous system health. And so my session's all about that, sharing that research and sharing those techniques to bring more awareness and share some of these learnings that we've had over on the team that I work with.
Great. And that's a live session now, is it? That's a synchronous session?
It is a live
Right.
session.
Now,
We will record it too.
Kayla, is that session, the link that you just sent, will that take everyone to the live
The link is
session?
listed on the schedule on the pre-conference day. It's the session is right below the one that we're currently in. I can also send a link to the schedule.
Put the link in here as well, because I'll encourage everybody here, if you to join that session. But if you do a recording, that would also be very good, because a lot of it is awkwardly in terms of people's time zones, and also people tend to kind of like the asynchronous stuff. So as I say, we get a lot of people, quite nearly 100 people have come to the page already. So, but if we do get a recording of it, and again, the other part of it is if you're able to write it up as a journal article as well. That's a way to build this kind of enduring knowledge, if you like, which then gets, sort of building kind of a knowledge bank in this area. So, but it sounds like really, really important work. Louise, you have a good. You're not going now. You're going later. You're going to miss it, okay? Because there's a conference.
Yeah, no, I can stay for this time, but I was just saying to the presenters that I won't be able to stay to listen to the other events, because I'll have to get dinner and check my speech for tomorrow. But and I'm also making sure that I don't repeat what you've just said, William, tomorrow. But I will definitely try and listen to as many presentations as I can from the online. And
as I say, Louise, encourage people to leave comments, because I know that particularly the online people often feel a bit kind of disconnected. So we're trying to really make them feel more connected. So, and as I say, there's about 50 people who are purely online. So, okay, now the next person I have is Elle Peterson, who's at WITS. Okay, and you've just put a little link, a little comment there and thing. Letitia from WITS, presenting on the social determinants in social work and healthcare. Okay, thank you for putting that in the chat. That's great. And Kayla's just put in the links. Everybody, take these links as they come in, and I can see there. Great, very good. Well, thank you again. Thank you very much for being here, and thanks for contributing that to the conference. And the last tile I have is Thobeka Nkomo, also from WITS.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Thobeka from Wits University, South Africa, one of the local organizing committee members. Welcome to Johannesburg. Would make your stay an exciting one. But in the conference, I'm also looking forward to listening to the presentations online and on site or in person. My research interest lies in migration in healthcare, HIV and sexual reproductive health. So my role is just to make sure that everything goes well in the conference. So welcome. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for hosting the conference. That's I know it's a big commitment. I had some good colleagues who used to be at WITS. I've actually been there a number of years ago, so I'm sorry I can't be there this time, but I know Philip is and Louise is, so that's great. Now, I just want to mention the journal quickly. Could I trouble you, Kayla, to put the link to the journal into the chat box? So we've been running this journal for a number of years now, and one of the things we've got is we've built a body of knowledge here. There it is there, and I can see that it's linked right in the bookstore. So that body of knowledge now consists of about 400 papers over the years we've been working in this particular area, which includes, and 2 books. So as part of the conference, everyone has access to this, and if you use the advanced search button, which is up a little bit higher there, you can actually get a quite granular view of everything that's there. So one of the things I always do is plead to people to use this resource. I mean, one of the most important forms of recognition in academia is that people have considered your work significant enough to cite. So use this body of knowledge that's been built up here, and do cite it. I think you'll find it's interesting and unusual because it's in this interdisciplinary kind of space, and capturing things which often don't get well captured in other places. So please use that. What else do I need to say now? Kayla and Gillian and Louise, any other things I need to mention or cover?
Yeah, I was just saying, really following on from what you mentioned, that we've introduced since the last year a special issue which is directly connected to the theme of the special focus of the conference. So anything that we feel really fits the special focus, and we really welcome. It doesn't mean that we don't welcome VARIA, so anything related to health, wellness and society, we'll welcome those papers as well, but specifically for the special issue, we'll be looking for contributions which really fit the call that you have this year that's been published for, related specifically to interventions from government and society to cope with pandemics. It can be a reflection on previous pandemics, of course, but most of the contributions are focusing on COVID, but we do welcome, reflections on previous pandemics as well. So that was just something that I would add there, that we encourage you, particularly if your paper is directly related to the special focus, please, think about this possibility, and it's peer reviewed. So, there's a rigorous peer review process. So you can know that your paper will be studied and either accepted, rejected, or asked for reviews. Often we ask for your papers to be corrected, reviewed, and then resubmitted. So therefore you can be, you are really encouraged to contribute to the special issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. That's and that'll be an important piece of work, that special issue. So, all right, folks. Well, look, I think, does anybody have any questions or that they'd like to ask or comments? So, okay. Well, look, thank you all for being here, and thank you also to the people who'll be watching this as a recording. So we're not going to forget that you exist. So thank you all for being at the conference, and we hope, whether you're cruising through the online stuff or in person there in Johannesburg, we hope you have a wonderful conference. And yes, we'll see you all next year in Toronto. So not Toronto, it's in Vancouver, isn't it?
Vancouver, yes. Yeah, please.
Sorry, I was thinking Toronto, but Vancouver. Okay. All right then, everybody. Great to see you, and welcome, and have a good conference. Bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.